Okay, so thanks everybody who is watching this video and tuning in. Should we just intro each other, Seb? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, we can. Okay, you're going to drink, so I will introduce myself. Sebastian, originally from Germany, as you can hear on my accent maybe. I'm owning an online marketing agency in Bucharest, RE7 Consulting. You should see it under the subtitle, the agency, how you can find us. Online marketing agency, passionate about online marketing. I'm an entrepreneur. Setting up already an agency together with my friend Ronald in Germany. And that's who I am. How about you?
Nice. Harry Roper, Imaginary Space, Webflow Agency / website consultancy. We make websites for agencies, marketing, websites, etc. And we're based in the southwest of England. So yeah, nice small intro. So it's only 30 minutes for this stream, but the thing that we want to get out for everybody is we're just going to do a small talk on, well, Sebastian, you've been given the homework of bringing a question to the call today, and I've been given the homework of bringing a question to the call today. So I'll keep an eye on the time. I'll be the time.
Okay. Should I ask first my question?
Why don't we start with yours? Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious. Why did you set up your company?
Okay, interesting. Why did I set up my company? I set up my company because I went to work for a really big agency in London. Mm-hmm. And when I was working for them, I was programmer. So I was programming apps and websites. It wasn't great, but I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do after a short while. It was meant to be the career that I wanted to go down. So I came back to where I lived. I was working for a hotel, and I was like, oh, fuck this. This is stupid work, but it's easy money. So I was, okay, waiting tables. And then somebody turned around to me and was very rude to me. Yeah. And I said, fuck this, threw the towel out. I'm done. I'm going. And I said to myself, oh, I've always made websites as a kid. I've always messed around with like websites. It would be easy to make a website. And I said, oh, if I get one client every day, £500, I'll be a millionaire before I know it, you know? And and I quickly learned that wasn't the case, but that was how Imaginary Space started, and now we're going into our third year, which is crazy. How did
third year? I'm just wondering, you said you worked for a big agency. It was like you said marketing agency, so they were doing online marketing only, or also offline marketing? How many employees?
Android app development. There were 8 of them. Their biggest client was eBay, but they also worked for some companies like Monzo, the banking app in the UK, Depop, the fashion app. So they worked for some pretty big places. But it was a small company, very small company.
Yeah.
Mostly Italians, so they all just drank espresso every day and got me into that.
Oh. Are you still drinking espresso?
Kind of, although like they would drink a lot, and I would leave the office like, you know, like so jittery.
Okay.
Afterwards. What about you though, Seb? How did RE7 start?
RE7. Let me think back. It's now more than 10 years.
Wow.
How it started. So my friend Ronald was the initiator. So he worked as an agency and as a trainee. In Germany, Auszubildende, it's called. So you have like, you're going through 2-3 years of training. It's like more, you're learning a lot, but you don't get paid so much. So he was taking care of one of the biggest providers for internet there. alone, and he was learning a lot and doing a lot. And I think at the end it was about like a discussion with them. Like they said something, I need to call him in order to figure out, but he would remember for sure. So it's about some principles that he had, and he said, no, I'm going away from this company. It was a little thing, as I remember. So he started his own agency with one guy that was also in this agency, like a developer. And I remember when they brought me in, I met him because one of my relatives was at this time with him together. And she introduced me to him. And I was like, at this time, working for sports nutrition, part-time, like in my free time, while I was working for telecom and doing online shops. And he was introducing me, and we said, yeah, we should set up a company for e-commerce, you know. And then I met with them, and then they showed me their project plan, which was from a treadmill, the box, the kettle, where they just wrote all the projects on it. So that was their project plan. It was amazing. Wow. And from there we moved on. So I was first like, the company was called Commerce Solution, that I was the owner of, with Ronald and another guy that were in this company, and they set it up RE7 Consulting, and later on we closed Commerce Solution because with the online shops it's like a really tough business. And I came in RE7 Consulting in Germany. That's how we started, first from home, and then step by step we set up the office. And currently RE7 in Germany has, I'm not sure, 15, 17 employees.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was the story for Germany, yeah.
How did the because you're based in Romania now, right? So how did the Romanian one start?
The Romanian was a bit different. So I was still working mainly for Deutsche Telekom at this time. And I was studying international business administration. So one semester I had to go abroad, either to work abroad or to study abroad. I was still working for Telecom, spoke to my boss. My boss said, hey, we have an interesting project where we could need you in Bucharest, Romania. So I said, okay, let's see what's happening there. And that's how I went to Romania, Bucharest. And of course, I was looking at the market, how the market is and so on. And I saw lots of opportunities. So lots of people were using Facebook, Instagram, and all these things. And the agencies didn't seem so professional. Was in 2014. And then I also met there my former girlfriend. And I decided then to set up a company there. So that meant in 2015, I put all my things in the car and drove 17 hours to Romania.
Wow.
Non-stop, yeah. Everything in my Passat, you know.
Sure.
And that's how I started here in Romania. So looking for an employee because I didn't speak any word of Romanian. So I didn't know what I was signing in order to set up the company, but I was just doing it, you know. Sure. And I was also lucky with my first employee to find somebody that I could later on take into the business as business partner, as Alexandra. And step by step, we developed the business. So that's how RE7 in Romania started.
Nice. And were you nervous about leaving Germany to come to Romania?
I was really determined, honestly. Yeah. But my family, friends, they weren't so happy about it, that I'm going to Romania. And I think they were really nervous about it. For me, it was like an adventure, you know? Sure. But I dreamed already about it to go to another country when I was younger. So, for example, if Telecom would have sent me to America or something, I would have probably set up there an agency. I don't know. But I was really, I was living there half a year already. So I knew how it is there. For me, it was just an adventure. Also interesting how the market works in Romania. It's totally different from the German market. which I had to learn a lot about it.
Do you see yourself staying in Romania?
Yeah, for the next 10, 20 years for sure.
Nice.
Lots of people ask me why not going back to Germany. I'm telling them it's everybody's else's decision. They should decide by themselves if they have more advantages in Germany or in Romania. Right now, I see more advantages in Romania, and we just started with the agency from my point of view. So there's a long way to go.
Sure. Nice. So this kind of leads on into my question, I guess.
Okay, what is your question?
So I was thinking a bit more about what was the biggest mistake that you made? Sorry.
Bless you.
Thanks. What was the biggest mistake?
Yes, we are live.
Yeah, we are. What was the biggest mistake that you made in your agency, if you can remember it, or one of the biggest mistakes you've made?
Tough question. I've made lots of mistakes. And the first thing that came to my mind was, for example, with our first tax accountant. So we switched lots of tax accountants in Romania. That was a big mistake. At the end, I closed the company because it was not okay, to keep the company with this tax accountant, because the tax accountant fucked up so many things. If I could have avoided, that's the other question. I think not, because maybe with evaluating the tax accountant better, I don't know, but also with the second tax accountant was also like a mess. And that was like a pretty hard thing, because you have to imagine, so we had to close the entire company and to shut everything down and then create a new company and go through all the hassle again to set it up in a clean way. I think that was the biggest mistake we made that I can remember now back.
Yeah. Was a mistake down to just like not looking like not.
I didn't understand this. The microphone, the sound from this microphone, I didn't understand it at all. It was like cluttered somehow.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah. Now it's better.
Okay.
Can you repeat it?
My question was, with the accountant, is this because like you didn't do enough research beforehand, or where did this mistake kind of come from?
You need to, especially when you start in the foreign countries, you need to trust. You need to find somebody that you can trust in. And when you come as somebody from a Western country to an East European country, and they see you're from Germany, they see also some money that they can get from you, So, and because I didn't speak the language, it's also hard for me to understand what is done, what is reported to the state and things like this. To find people that you can trust. That's why I'm saying I was really happy to find Alexandra from the very beginning, and that she, even if we had at the beginning, of course, lots of challenges and also some downs, which is really normal at the beginning, she stayed there on the side and was confident that we are going to make it,
If you were to give some advice to our audience when they watch this video through, what would you say that they should look out for to be able to avoid doing this in the future?
With the tax accountant,
I guess this can apply to anybody that they're working with, right? Like anybody that I'm going to work with.
Yeah, determine some things or some values that are important for you, and put them in a question so that you can figure out how does the other person see these values, in order that you have at least a common ground, you know. And for a tax accountant, in order to determine if it's a good tax accountant, the first thing that comes to my mind is like Google reviews to check them out. Also maybe to ask some former clients or some current clients if they are happy. And I would go by recommendation. I wouldn't just go for any tax accountant. I would look like maybe somebody from your friends that you have in where you're starting a business, know somebody that knows somebody, you know. So by referral recommendation, that's normally, they wouldn't recommend somebody if they would not say this is somebody that you can trust. And it's also a question of money, of course. I could have gone to the biggest, and yeah, but then it would be too expensive. So it's really hard to figure this out. But that would be my recommendation. What I'm curious, what were your biggest mistake in your agency?
I think very early on when we first started out, I took on a project for a software development. We didn't do software development, but I was like, at the time, because I was young and we just started, I was in the mindset of take anything that comes to us and we'll deal with it later. So I took this project on for like very little money, very small time frame. I had my friend help me develop it. I ended up burning out my friend. I mean, thankfully he's still friends with me, but what we were
He's still alive.
Yeah. What we were trying to accomplish was just like very, very hard. And I think the biggest thing for us was like, we shouldn't have said yes to this project because A, we didn't have the capabilities, but B, we were just thinking about the money at the time. Rather than like about the client and the solution for the client and where the client's kind of going, if you know what I mean. So
reminds me also of one project that we had in Germany with this commerce solution, what I told you. It was like a wooden toy online shop. And we were working with a teacher. I don't know, but what I learned from this, don't work with teachers anymore. I don't know, they're really like picky. It's really hard to work with them. Lawyers, teachers, nothing against them. Some are really cool, but most of them, so far, what I've learned, it's really hard to do some projects. So we worked for this project, and what you said, we had a really tight time frame. And we worked day and night for this project, and there were so many problems. We worked with Magento at this time, and there were so many problems. And then when we finally finished the shop, it didn't run properly because the ads weren't so good. So I learned a lot from this project, but it was like such a huge loss from a financial point of view, but also from the time that I lost with this project.
I think the biggest problem sometimes is like you smell the money and you just really want to do it, or you think like in your head, oh, this could be a really good project, so I'm just going to take it on even if we make no money. But it's that phase of like, if you don't think through these things properly, especially when you're young and you're starting out, you know, I learned later on in the process that the client should come first and you're solving a problem for the client, rather than like in our case, we were very addicted to just making very beautiful websites. But if that makes my client no money, then how does that work, you know, overall?
Yeah, and also the project was like exciting and seems really interesting and challenging. But in order first evaluate with whom you are working, how's the person, make a contract for sure. I think we didn't have a contract at this time, which was also a huge mistake. I think we didn't do any advance payment. So we did all the things that can you do wrong at the beginning. Not really like a project management with a dedicated plan, not a task management. Oh, there are so many things.
What about like a recent mistake? Have you had any recent mistakes?
Recent mistakes. With smelling the money with one client where we had a project, it brought us good money, but the customer was a pain in the ass. Calling us on the weekend, evening, complaining a lot, threatening us to sue us when it's not working,
Sure.
That was a recent mistake, and there were so many red flags already at the beginning that we should have not taken on this project. And it's so much energy dragging. I think you know what I mean, when this client consumes so much of your energy and you get more and more negative because you're dealing with this client, and it's also not good for your private life maybe, but also not for the rest of your other project with customers. So I would advise in the future, just cut it off. Even if it's good money, you will find better projects and more positive things for you.
We usually look out for like the way that they speak to us, the way that they're dealing with the talk. If there's somebody who isn't very cooperative and they think they're just going to tell you what to do, then that can be a red flag for us as well. Are there any red flags for you?
What we're doing now at the beginning, we also check the companies. So in Romania, you have a Lista de Firma, it's called, like a website where you can check how were the revenue, the finances, in order to know also a bit more about how good they are financially. Other red flags that you can figure out already when they want to have a lot of meetings at the beginning already. And they want a lot negotiate your price, questioning everything. And especially when you ask, did you work with previous agency? And the client will tell you, yeah, I worked with 3 agencies this year. And their work, So maybe it wasn't the agencies, maybe it was the client, you know what I mean? So this is something what we're asking normally, like, did you have previous experience with agency? How did it go? In order to see what the client will tell you. And from this, because you have always several opinions on something, so this gives you a good indicator if this might be a red flag,
I get that. Yeah, I think another one for us is definitely when they're arguing on your price, just get rid of them. You don't want to argue on price. You know that your price is fair,
Yeah, I would say a bit of like discussing about a price is okay, but bring you to a price where it wouldn't literally work out for you, like profit-wise, or just a small thing goes wrong and then something is going to happen. I wouldn't do it.
We always talk about like how to price projects appropriately and stuff like that in our agency. And I think one thing that I'm getting more used to now is like being very upfront about the price. So in the first call, always saying, hey, this price is going to be, we start websites at £5,000, for example. Does that work for you? Because then they're not wasting your time, because they're not getting to like the third stage of the sales process, right?
Go straight forward. For example, we have this sometimes that the customer says, we asking them, so what is your marketing budget? Oh, I don't know. What was your marketing budget before? I don't know. We didn't do online marketing.
Yeah.
And then I go straight forward and say, our minimum engagement rate is 500 euros per month. And on top of this, so this is our fee, on top of it, you can consider at least 250 euros for Facebook, Instagram. Normally more, like also 500 euros, so it would be around 1,000 euros per month. Would this budget be okay for you, or do you say it's too high for you? And then on this, when you give them some numbers, you will see clearly if they will say, whoa, I didn't expect this price, or that seems okay.
Yeah.
And then you should see if you find like a common basis. Like I'm also like to offer them like a trial period, so we can do it for 1 month. They pay this amount of money and see how it goes, and after that we sign a contract.
Nice. So is there anything that you feel like with all these mistakes and stuff, what can people do to make sure that they're not going to take the same steps that we did do in the future? I'm thinking about how can we round this out and close this off, this topic about mistakes.
Yeah. I think what I'm still learning, like the buzzword is for me awareness, to be aware of the mistakes you did and write down your learnings.
Yeah.
I think that would be something. I don't know if you have something else to add to this.
I'd say like something that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks now is a weekly review, and that really helps with bringing up these mistakes and writing them down and then building action points from them. So, you know, if we made the mistake of let's say we made a mistake in the middle of the week with some project management, you know, I need to identify what that problem was. I need to categorize it. I then need to set a task for next week where I say, I'm going to do something to help improve the machine of my agency and fix it. I have all of these learnings in a table. So when I do a monthly review, I can look at all the mistakes I made over those 4 weeks and think, did I actually do anything in the end? Did I actually fix it, or did I just write it down and do nothing about it? You know, one of those really.
That's also a nice metaphor with the machine.
Yeah,
the machine work, you know.
But you have something similar with like the high performance planner, right?
Yeah, I'm doing this high performance planner of the Brandon budget, and there you have like a journaling, morning journal, evening journal, weekly journal, monthly journal, and I'm writing down the things. Plus, I recently started with audio journaling.
Yeah, nice.
Which is, I don't know, I like more to speak to something. To get my mind work and to go a bit deeper with the things, and then it just transcribes it. So I use the Just Press Record is the app, and it works really nice. So this is also something to figure out, or just things when I figure out some things on the spot, what you said, to make directly a task, discuss this with the team, and see where you can improve it or do some learnings. Stop it, you know.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm excited to see what we bring to the table next week.
Yeah, I'm also excited. Let's see how it goes next week.
Really cool. So for anybody who is listening, I know we'll try and put this on Spotify as a podcast, and we'll keep the YouTube video up as well. But you can follow Sebastian. Instagram, RE7 Consulting, or it's Sebastian Bayer on LinkedIn. And then you can follow me on YouTube. Just type in Harry Roper. I've got my vlog on there. Or you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well, Harry Roper on LinkedIn. But I think that's it until next week. Hey, Seb.
Yeah, have a nice weekend.
Yeah, you too. Speak soon.